welcome back to the Fuck My Work Life podcast, where we take your stories and make them funner.
Your workplace stories.
Oh, yeah, workplace stories. Son of a bitch.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Our 10 listeners know.
Yeah, I know
the deal by now.
Exactly.
Thank you, 10 listeners. We love you very much.
Very much. Very much. Tell your fucking friends. Tell your friends.
Please. And thank you.
And thank you.
Hi, everyone. It's episode 7.
Episode lucky number 11.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, can I say that? Are we going to be sued?
Who gives a shit?
Oh, we don't make money from the podcast. So
yeah. What are they going to sue us for? Anywho, how are you?
Oh, you said it.
I said drink, everyone.
Drink, everyone.
Anytime there's an anywho.
Yeah. Apparently, I say it too much. So it's kind of like a drinking game.
I never said too much.
Yes, I say it a lot.
We say it a lot.
Yeah, I do.
I say a lot, but I tend to cut those out in the editing.
That's good.
Maybe my drinking game could be when I say
Or ladies and gentlemen.
Or so. I say so a lot.
So.
Anyways. So what's new in our world? We got our first vaccination shot this week.
We did.
And other than being incredibly tired for a day and a half.
Yeah, I had vertigo.
Oh yeah, you
pretty
got a
good
dizziness from it.
But I don't know if it was because I was like, fuck it, I'm drinking, or if it was because of the vaccination. Like, I read that the first round of the Pfizer vaccination, the third most common symptom is dizziness.
Yeah, I was reading up on it too.
Is dizziness. So it could be, but also,
who knows?
There were so many things going on with us.
Yeah.
That I thought I was going to have the whole week off, and I didn't. So I drank like I was going to have the whole week off again.
But you were getting dizzy before you
I was.
drank. It was probably, I don't know. But yeah, sore arm, very sore arm. And then just, God, we slept so much.
We slept
that first 24 hours. But it's worth it. I can't wait for the second shot.
I know.
And then I'm going to go see friends and family and hug people.
Exactly. And I'm not even, at this point, I don't want the vaccination for, I might get sick. I want it because I want to be able to fucking hang out with people.
Yeah.
And like go see friends and hang out with friends and not have them like shy away from me when I step within 6 feet. Like, it's so fucking ridiculous.
I mean,
but it's got to happen.
It's got to happen. You know? Yeah. So that was our week.
We got new floors. That was one of the things that was
stressful this week.
That was, quite stressful this week was, we've been dealing with trying to get new floors for almost a couple months now.
Where they would schedule it and we'd take the day off work and then reschedule it. And it was a fiasco, but it finally happened. They're beautiful. We're happy.
Yes, they're really nice.
So that was another exciting thing this week.
Yep.
Now it's the weekend. We're recording and we're drinking.
Because we work.
We drink because we work, everyone.
That's right.
What are you drinking today?
Today, I am having a slow brewery churro stout. It says it's a pastry stout. I have not tried this yet. I'm about to open it.
Crack it open. Oh, such a satisfying sound.
It ain't no fucking Coors Light.
No, I'm excited you're trying something different this week.
I know. I'm
going
to try it. I wonder if I should have shaken it up first. It seems like... I know.
No.
Obviously not. But it seems like a churro stout is kind of like a milkshake. Like you gotta...
No. Unless you wanted all of our podcast equipment to be sprayed with beer. What do you think?
Not bad. It's not bad. It's kind of like drinking an ice cream. But
a little bit.
It's not too bad. I mean...
I was really hoping when I tried that. This is another seasonal beer from Slow Brew that we kind of hoarded for a while. I was hoping it was a little bit more cinnamony. To me, it was just kind of like a vanilla-y stout.
Yeah, it's very vanilla.
But it's good. I would just probably call it a vanilla stout.
It's good. What's the percentage of this?
Probably a lot.
Baby?
I feel like stouts are usually
7.5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fucking up.
Yeah. But so Chase, drinking something other than Coors Light this week. Let's all
Well,
praise him for that. He's
let's be honest.
Also drinking a Coors Light.
I have a Coors Light right next to me, just in case this tastes like shit.
It doesn't taste like shit. It's just not very churro-y,
No,
I don't think.
It's not very churro-y, but respect for them for going for the churro stout, because that's a very
specific flavor.
Yes, that's a very specific flavor. I still remember when I lived out here when I was a kid, and we would go to the swap meet up at the Orange County Fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
All I wanted was a churro. I did not give a shit how many fucking jeans my mom made me try on in a little tarp tent at the back of like so you go into these places.
The fair?
No, not at the fair. At the swap meet.
Oh.
At the Orange County Fairgrounds.
Oh, okay.
And you go into these places and there's all these booths like a swap meet. And they would have like a little area tarped off.
For you to try stuff on.
Yeah, but like you could see straight into it and everyone could see straight into it. And, I was like 10 and I was very nervous and I did not want to try on jeans. But if you bought me a churro, I'd try on whatever the fuck you wanted me to.
Just getting your sugary cinnamony hands all over the jeans.
Just put that shit in my face and I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, God, I love churros. Just greasy churros. They're so good. We should figure out how to make them. Just make our own churros.
It's not that hard.
No, but we don't have a deep fryer anymore either.
Oh, no, we don't.
It died.
But we got a smoker. Oh, smoked
churros.
Instead of putting pellets in the grill, I can just put cinnamon in the grill and we can smoke cinnamon.
Yeah. So what I am drinking this week, I took advantage of having a day off during the week and went to Trader Joe's, which I haven't gone to in months because there's always a long line to get in. But during the week, it was pretty much empty. And they have a thing where you can just make your own 6-pack of whatever beers they have, which for my OCD felt very strange to just be ripping out a single beer out of a pack.
It feels weird just like ripping beers out of like 6-packs and 4-packs.
They're into it. So I did it. And I grabbed this Gunwale Brewing Surfbird beer.
I like it already. It's got gun in the name.
Is out of Orange County in California, and it is a easy drinking California golden ale.
Light? What's the percentage on it?
4.8.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty low in the alcohol percentage. It's a bit too hoppy for my liking.
Yeah.
But I'm very picky about that. I don't like a very hoppy beer, which a lot of beers, especially in Southern California, are.
Ever since the Southern California hit like the craft brewing mecca of the world, even if you get a golden ale or a lager or any type of craft beer here, it's always, make it as close to an IPA without calling it an IPA. And it's like, I don't mind some IPAs, but most of them, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to drink a fucking sweet tart.
Yeah, they're just they taste so bitter to me. I do not like IPAs at all. There's a very small window of the types of beers that I like, and I'll be very adventurous within that type, like the Pilsners, the wheat beers, the golden ales, but if they're like super hoppy, not into it. This one's not bad. It's slightly hoppy.
Can I taste it?
Sure.
I've got my first round of vaccination.
Yeah, me too. But it's okay. I feel like it's a beer where if I drank a few of them, I'd be like, it's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit hoppy.
Yeah, but if you like hops.
But it's okay. It's not bad.
If you like hops, give it a try. Gunwale Surfbird. I got this one at Trader Joe's. I'm sure you can find it.
Mine is not hoppy.
Anyway.
No,
it's stouty.
Yeah, mine tastes like Ben & Jerry's.
Melted ice cream?
Tastes like Ben & Jerry's.
You know, that would make a good, beer float. Some vanilla ice cream.
I bet it would.
With that poured over it.
But damn, that would be...
so sweet.
Fuck yeah. That would be a headache.
Yeah, probably. All right, everyone. Maybe we should just do a beer podcast.
We already are.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of beer podcasts out there.
I'm like a quarter away through this beer.
Slow down, buddy.
It's not.
Oh, quarter of the way. I don't know. I was thinking you had a quarter left.
I've had a quart of his beer.
That's what we're having today for our section. We drink because we work. Remember to tag We Drink Because We Work and share what you're drinking with us or suggest something for us to drink. Hashtag.
We
sorry.
drink because we work.
That's right. Hashtag. Anywho. God, I'm turning into you. Drink. Okay, so I have more fun, weird jobs.
Okay.
Like we did a few episodes ago.
I like those. Those are fun.
So we can do those, or you said you had a fun story that you wanted to share.
Yes.
What do you want to do first?
Let's do the fun, weird jobs.
Okay. Some fun, weird jobs. We did this in a previous episode. I thought it was kind of interesting. So I was looking up stuff on the internet, and I found this blog that was written by a man named Anthony Hughes, and it's the Coburg Banks website, which I think is like a recruiting site in the UK. Okay. So I just wanted to give Mr. Anthony Hughes credit for this list.
Shout out.
Hit us up, Anthony. Anyway, so the first one is a fake mourner. So in this article, it says, some people are, let's face it, massively unpopular. But instead of simply sliding them into the ground quietly, some well-meaning relatives try to pack out funerals with suitably sorrowful-looking professional mourners.
All right, then.
The idea became popular in China and the Middle East. Yes, many of those wailing women in the street documented by earnest TV news presenters are actually hired to scream their lungs out.
Nice. You're probably going to want to keep this guy's number on speed dial, because when I go, you might need those.
I got to fill out your funeral.
Yeah.
Oh, man. When I die, just bury me under a tree and have a party.
That sounds like a good hook to a song. When I die, bury me under a tree.
And have a party?
And have a party. Woo!
Perfect.
I know.
So that's a job. If I ever need to look for another job, maybe I'll do that, because I cry very easily. So this could be like a new profession for me. All I have to do is just to think about anything serious, and I cry.
I need to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm a crier. It's fine. Okay, the second one. This one also sounds fun. Legal bank robber.
What?
So...
Where the fuck has this been my whole life?
Right? So, fancy robbing a bank without the associated risks of prison and an uncomfortable time in the shower? In the shower? Oh, like if you drop the soap in the shower. I get it.
I got it. Yep.
Well, you could be a legal bank robber or penetration tester. Ooh, do they do that in the shower too? As they're known in the trade.
That's the advanced stage of legal bank robber. If you do go to jail, we also offer
penetration tester.
A penetration tester.
So the purpose of the role is to test the levels of security in place. And in the olden days, the job used to be straightforward, literally just breaking into the bank.
Can I stop you?
Yes.
Well, why do people insist on saying the olden days? I don't even think that's a word.
I don't know.
In the old days.
The old-timey days?
No, just old.
The purpose of the role is to test the levels of security in place. And in the old-timey days, the job used to be straightforward, literally breaking into the bank. Now there are still fake robbers, but penetration testing has extended to computer hacking, identity theft, phoning the operators and trying to trick them out of customer details, and even impersonating a police officer to plant surveillance equipment in the vaults, too. That would be a fun job.
That would be so fun.
You'd have to be a good actor.
Yeah, but what if you went into one of these banks and you had like some rogue bank worker who was like, I don't give a fuck, I work at a bank, I'm carrying a gun.
Yeah.
And
well, this article is written in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
So here, probably an issue.
Yeah, here definitely an issue. Or either a bank worker or a person standing in line. Yeah,
or hired security guards.
The guy standing around the corner trying to rob the bank also.
the actual bank robber.
To it.
Okay, so the third one is teddy bear surgeon.
Oh.
Aww. So actually, it's teddy bear repair technician, but surgeon sounds so much better. Every major Build-A-Bear outlet, do those still exist?
I
haven't been to a
I would
mall in
guess
so
so.
long. I don't know. Okay, so every major Build-A-Bear outlet has a technician whose job it is to sew arms, legs, and eyes back onto injured teddy bears. There are a number of independent teddy bear hospitals out there, too. Essential skills are, essentially, the ability to sew and the patience to deal with the kind of people who would take a teddy bear to a hospital.
Could you imagine, like, some crazy old lady who had a little dog who just fucking tore shit up and had a favorite teddy bear, and twice a week she would come in and be like,
teddy bear.
Yeah.
Aw. I mean, a full-time job doing that sounds
Well, what does it pay?
intense.
Because I mean, you know, like a full-time job doing anything is, you know, you can break those jobs down into why you fucking hate them.
Right.
But if you're sewing teddy bears back together for little kids and their little eyes light up, and then you kick them the fuck out of the store after you're done.
You know how kids get super attached to certain things. And if an arm rips off their favorite teddy bear, they're going to lose their fucking mind. So having someone there, it's probably like the highlight of their fucking little life at that time.
A mom comes in with her little kid and the arms ripped off of the bear, and they want you to repair it, and you're like, I don't know, this is pretty
I don't
dire.
know. I don't know if he'll make it.
I don't know if he'll make. I don't know if I can keep the whole arm, and so you like dye the fur.
Got gangrene.
Like dye the fur like a pinkish red color, and just sew it up, and then sew it back. So he's like one full arm, one half arm.
Just some like crazy sadistic fuck working as a teddy bear surgeon.
Or like take his leg off.
Sewing it on a different part of his body.
Take his leg off and sew it to the top of his head. It'd be like, I had to graft some of the leg to the arm. And in order to do that, I had to put the arm on the head.
We've got to open up his head to let his brain swelling go down.
And then just
stuffing coming out of his head.
Watching the kid like do one of those silent cries where their mouth is open and they're all ugly. Just
oh, that'd be so fun to mess with people in that job.
So fun.
Okay.
I like to mess with the kids in the neighborhood.
I know you do.
They're so much fun.
They keep coming around. They love it.
Oh yeah, I know. Because I'll look at them and be like, hey, give me $1. What? I don't have $1. Well, go ask Mom. Give me $1. Why? Because you drove by my garage on your bike, or you rode by my garage on your bike, and I didn't like it. So give me $1.
You're probably like the creepy cautionary tale of the neighborhood.
Actually, that's a good story. I should. Are we going into the stories now?
Well, I have 2 more jobs, but you can.
Okay.
Segue.
No. Go ahead.
You want to say if it fits, you can segue?
Yeah, it fits. So, when I lived in a little town called Las Vegas.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's very small, but if you've been around it, you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I worked at a shop, and I was a mechanic, and we shared a parking lot with a 7-Eleven, and there was a homeless person who lived behind the 7-Eleven. So basically, like our parking lot, we shared the parking lot. The buildings were separate, but the 7-Eleven had like a fence that kind of separated it from the street.
Oh, okay.
And the dumpsters were kept back there, and the homeless person lived basically behind the dumpsters, in between the fence and the dumpsters. And we all knew him. His name was Art. And he was a nice guy, but he had his way about him.
Yeah.
And we'd be in our bays working on cars, you know, changing oil, changing tires, doing whatever, working on the cars. And we would hear, the parking lot wasn't that big, but we would hear, "Give me $1." And that was Art.
That was him like asking for money?
Well, that was Art about the second or third time he asked someone for money. Give
me $1.
He would just scream at people. He would, because he was very, like, he would ask us for money, but he'd be like, hey, you got any spare change? You know, like, and we would never give him money, because if you gave him money, he would never stop asking.
Yeah.
But we'd give him, like,
Go buy him food or something.
yeah, we'd go buy him, like, a big bite from a hot dog from 7-Eleven, or a big gulp.
Yeah.
But people pumping their gas at this 7-Eleven, they would know no better.
Right.
Unless they've been there multiple times.
And they knew Art.
And Art would come out and be like, hey, you got any spare change? Oh, no, man, I don't have any spare change. You got any change left over from pumping your gas? No, give me $1. You know?
Aww.
And we would hear that shit
all day long.
every day. Every day we'd hear it.
Aww.
It was great. It was great.
Poor Art.
We would basically drop our fucking tools when we would hear it, because we knew
Just laughing
somebody over there felt so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because there's someone screaming in their face. And this guy, he looked pretty clean cut, had like the 5 o'clock shadow, you know. And I don't know if he actually lived back there or just stayed back there every once in a while when he needed to
get $1.
Make a little dough.
Yeah.
And come out of the dumpsters and ask for money.
Aww. That reminds me of one time when I lived up in the Bay Area, and I was just walking down the street and was passing a McDonald's, and there was a homeless man sitting right outside the door to the McDonald's, and he had a sign like asking for money or whatever. And the person I was with was like, hey, you know, I don't have any money, but I'll go into McDonald's and, like, what do you want? I'll buy you a meal. He looked at me and he's like, I don't eat that shit. Like, refuse the free meal.
I don't eat that shit. You got some Brussels sprouts or...
That was hilarious. Not even the homeless want to eat that shit. Actually, I think he just wanted money to buy booze, but...
Yeah, most likely.
But yeah, I love... It's my favorite story. I don't eat that shit. Okay, we have 2 more crazy jobs. So the next one is snake milker.
Yeah, I just read that. And I was like, oh, what's that?
Snake milker. So in some countries,
Is that like a fluffer before a porn where they like...
You and your porn.
What?
In some countries, snake venom is in big demand, and there are specialist milkers who risk life and limb on a daily basis. Snake venom is required to produce antivenom, and the best milkers pride themselves on capturing the snakes by hand to minimize stress. Like, minimize stress for who? I feel like that'd be very stressful on the milker.
Yeah.
Jim Harrison milks up to 1,000 snakes a week at Kentucky Zoo in the U.S. and has been seriously bitten just 8 times in his 50-year snake handling career.
Only 8 times.
But at least he must have the antivenom.
Yeah, he
must. If he's a milker.
Yeah.
Ugh, no, thank you. Snakes can all fucking die.
Why would you not do that in like one of those bomb suits that you saw? What was that movie?
The Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker, where the guys go through Afghanistan and like they basically undo IEDs. I forget the name of the word. Defuse. They defuse IEDs in Afghanistan. And they wear these suits where they look like the little kids in the snowsuits, where their arms are like stuck out sideways.
My arms down.
Yeah. Why would you not wear one of those when you're milking a snake?
I don't know. Oh, yeah.
I
gotta go milk my snake.
I gotta go milk my snake.
Okay, and the last one is zombie.
All right.
And that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that.
No.
So London Dungeons hold annual auditions for the role of zombie in their exhibits. And with an average salary of £30,000, which is about 41,000 US dollars a year.
They just play zombies?
So it's simple, really. Your job would be to scare tourists who willingly pay for the privilege of being chased through dark rooms by made-up strangers. If you're good, there's career progression, too, as you can go on to become a torturer or even Jack the Ripper.
Nice.
I would also love that job.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Just getting made up and scaring the shit out of tourists all day.
Yeah.
That sounds like the perfect job for me.
I mean, I know, during Halloween here, There's probably a lot of haunted houses.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing they have people that they go to
probably
like, every year.
Well, I know like Universal Studios and Knott's Berry Farm that all have the like Halloween themed months. You have to like have headshots and do auditions and shit. Like
fuck that shit. Like,
well,
you want me to scare people?
Hey, for $41,000 a year, fucking hey, I'll be a zombie.
Hell yeah! What's it cost to live in UK?
Probably. Well, London's probably pretty expensive. We could find a little cottage just outside of London and just live in the UK and be zombies for a living.
I think that shit would be awesome.
Let's do it. Okay, new job goals.
Fucking A.
Fucking A.
We got our 1 year plan.
That's right.
And 1 year, fuck you and fuck this podcast.
No, we'll still do the podcast.
Oh, yeah, I guess
we can do it from anywhere.
I mean, I guess we...
We'll just be
Well, I figured
zombies.
if we left here, we wouldn't be able to take this with us.
Oh, no, not at all.
No, we'd have to stay.
There are no laptops or microphones in the UK.
Yeah, I know.
What?
I have another really good work story about that kind of thing. Like there are no laptops or...
Okay. Do you want to tell it on this one or do you want to save it for another episode?
No, let me tell it.
Okay.
Because it's pretty good. So for one of my jobs, I traveled to Israel. And people think of like the Mediterranean and the Middle East as like, well, not people, but some people. Okay, let's just say stupid people. Stupid people think of the Mediterranean and the Middle East as they piss and shit in a hole and they have no TV and they've heard of nothing and they live in tents because there's a lot of people who think that way. So I went to Israel and there was a girl who was out there with us and...
Not from Israel?
Not from Israel. She was from America also. And we were outside on a break, and at this time I smoked cigarettes, and I was smoking cigarettes, and I was talking to this guy from Israel. We were talking about Eddie Murphy and his stand-up, and we were going back and forth with each other about the best things we loved about Eddie Murphy's stand-up, because his stand-up from the early 80s was probably top-notch, probably basically what made him so popular.
Yeah.
And this girl walks up, and she looks at the guy from Israel and goes, "You know Eddie Murphy?" And he looked at her and he was like, "Yes. And I piss in a toilet too. And I have a whole apartment. I don't live in a tent." And then he keeps going because this guy was hilarious, but he was pretty like abrasive.
Yeah.
And he was like, "If I wanted to marry you, I would tell your father, I will give you 2 sheep and 4 cows, and I will marry you, and you will be mine, and I will own you." And she was so embarrassed.
Aww.
She was so embarrassed, but it was like, what the fuck?
You know Eddie Murphy?
I mean, the fact that we were there and we were living in hotels and working in a building should let you know that they don't live in fucking tents.
Right.
And they know stuff.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, she ended up laughing during the whole
Yeah,
thing,
I was just going to say, it was probably something that came out of her mouth, and then she instantly was like, well, that was a stupid question, of course.
She was immediately embarrassed because the look on his face was just like wide-eyed, like mouth open, "Are you fucking kidding me?" kind of look. Anyway, I didn't... Anywho.
There you go.
Drink. Okay, let's get to the stories.
Okay, so we've got some workplace stories from you wonderful listeners that we're going to get into now. Good old Jay's going to go first.
That's right, baby.
What's your first story called?
My first story is called The Balloons.
Okay.
My first story is called The Balloons, and it was sent to us by someone.
I love someone.
Yes, she's great. I love her too.
How do you know it's a she?
Oh, shut up your face.
Sometimes we know who the story comes from, but we're not going to reveal who it is.
Pretty much all the times.
So far.
I mean, they have to send us an email, so.
I know.
Anywho, drink.
That was my drinking sound. Gulp.
The Balloons. When I was in my late teens, early 20s, I worked at a party store. Party store, like they just partied all the time?
Yeah, you just go in there and you just...
Hell yeah. Kind of a small, locally owned version of Party City. One of the biggest parts of my job was blowing up helium balloons. Hell yeah.
And just sucking the helium and doing the
Fucking
stupid, silly
A.
voice. You can get like high off of that, right?
Oh yeah.
If you do enough.
No, you don't really get high.
Not like, what
You
are they
get,
called?
like,
Whippets?
You get like lightheaded.
Yeah.
You get lightheaded where you're just like, oh, fucking shit.
And talking really funny.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, fucking shit.
Yeah.
One of the biggest parts of my job was blowing up helium balloons. I already read that. Especially on weekends, we would be inundated with balloon orders.
Good word.
That's a big word. We would blow them up and leave them in bunches around the store, waiting for the customers who ordered them to pick them up. One weekend, a woman came in to order a big bunch of balloons for her little niece, who was at home resting after having broken her arm.
Aww.
Aww. My friend and I got a creepy vibe from this woman right away. And as she was telling us about how her niece got hurt, it was kind of obvious that it was somehow this lady's fault.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. The details are fuzzy to me all these years later, but I remember how insistent she was that it was not her fault, and that her niece understood that. Ever heard of protesting too much, lady?
Yeah,
yeah,
like...
exactly. Anytime you go into a place and, I need balloons, my niece broke her arm, it's not my fucking fault.
I didn't do it.
And my niece doesn't think it's my fault either.
Sorry, I broke your arm. Here's some balloons.
Probably your fault. Yeah. Sorry, I broke your arm. Here's some balloons. Let's get fucked up and talk funny.
Yeah. Do you have a balloon that says, sorry, I broke your arm?
No one even asked what the balloons were for. Anyway, she went to go pick up lunch or whatever while we blew up her balloons. And when she came back, I walked her over to where they were waiting for her. One by one, her balloons started popping. Ooh. All of them. All of the other balloon orders nearby were fine. It was just the ones for this lady.
That's weird.
That's very weird.
Fucking evil
And
bitch.
only once she was back in the store. We made her a new order, of course, and that one was fine. But we were convinced that it was her evil presence popping those balloons.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. What does she look like? Does
She
she
probably...
have like a hook nose with a mole on it?
I picture her looking
Black hat.
I picture her looking like Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer when she gets all evil witch and her eyes are solid black and she gets all veiny in the face.
I've never seen that.
I know. Anyway, Buffy fans out there will know what I'm talking about.
Yep. But let's go on because it gets good.
Oh.
Full disclosure, I smoked a lot of weed at that time. But it's still one of the creepiest feelings I've ever had in my life. I mean, come on. The lady was probably like, why do you keep poking my balloons with needles? And then looking at me like it's my fault.
Or like another coworker was like shooting shit at the balloons from behind the counter. Just fucking with the stone person.
Dude, what's going on with your fucking balloons, man?
Classic. I love it. I would say that would be a paranoid high, maybe.
Or just high.
Or just high.
That's just a high.
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I've never smoked weed.
No? Yeah, you have.
Shh.
Have you ever eaten weed? Fuck that shit.
I prefer to eat.
I do not, because I don't know when to stop until I'm fucking puking.
Well, that's just food in general for you.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't matter if it's got weed in it or not.
It's not very nice.
Ooh, I'm getting the evil eye.
Are you calling me fat?
No, I'm just saying you like food.
I do.
Anywho. Anyway, everyone.
I beat you to it. Drink.
Okay, I'm drinking. Drink. I'm actually out of beer. Oh no, there's a little left. Hold on. Are you ready for story number D?
I am ready for story number D.
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 All right, this story is called The Red Dress. Okay. The summer before I started college, I worked in a trendy-ish clothing store in the mall. It was a large 2-story place that carried both men's and women's clothing. The women's clothes were on the bottom floor and the men's on top. One day...
That's right. Sorry, go ahead.
Whatever. One day I was working the first floor when I saw an older gentleman, probably in his mid to late 50s, wandering around in what I called the party girl section. He looked slightly lost, so I went over to ask if he was looking for the men's section. Now, this wasn't the type of store that usually attracted the more mature shoppers, but hey.
Sorry, is this guy going to take a shit in the middle of the floor like the other one?
No, that was our shit show episode.
Okay. I'm just checking.
No shit in this story. Now, this wasn't the type of store that usually attracted the more mature shoppers, but hey, to each their own. He smiled warmly and said that he was actually looking for a gift for his daughter, who happened to be around my age. Now, if my dad tried to buy me clothes at that age, I would have been horrified, but he was a very friendly man. We spent a good 45 minutes looking around for something.
He's not buying them for his daughter.
Can I finish the story, please?
Yes, fine.
We spent a good 45 minutes looking around for something, and in that time he went on and on about his wife of 30-plus years and how they were suffering from empty nest syndrome since their daughter moved away for college and that they were planning on renewing their vows on their 35th wedding anniversary. He seemed very devoted to her, and I remember thinking that I hoped I would eventually marry a man that loved me as much as this man appeared to love his wife. Ah, as he's wandering around the party girl section of a clothing store. Anyway, as he continued to look around at the clothing, he would pick something up and ask me to hold it up to myself so he would have an idea of how it would look on his daughter. Sounds not creepy. I found this part a bit odd and slightly uncomfortable, but I was eager to make a sale, and he was just so darn sweet, so I obliged. I probably would have done the same thing at that age, too. Just would have been like, okay, I guess, instead of being
I think working in retail, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to miss the sale?
Yeah. You didn't make your sales quota today? Okay. After a while, he finally decided on a fitted, bright red lace dress, probably an inappropriate choice for a daughter, and a silver bangle bracelet. I rang him up and said farewell. That next Friday, some coworkers and I decided to go out to eat after our shift. I got up to go to the bathroom and had to walk through the bar area to get there, and at the bar, I see my older gentleman customer with the young woman in the red lace dress he had purchased from me. But I hope to God it wasn't his daughter because they were wrapped around each other pretty intimately.
Fuck yeah. That's right, baby. Keep it all in the family.
I kind of stopped open-mouthed for a second. I was very young and still pretty naive to the world. He glanced up and noticed me gawking and just kind of smiled slyly and winked at me and went back to making out with his date.
Ew. Well, his date or his daughter?
Well,
Where did this take place? I got a pretty good knowledge of the states in this country that this could very well be his daughter.
I don't think it was his daughter.
I don't think so either.
Being much older now, I know there could be a plethora of explanations for this. Maybe he and his wife were swingers, or had an arrangement, or he made up the story of his wife because he didn't want to admit he was dating such a young woman. Or he was just a big, stupid, cheating jerk. I gave up working in clothing stores after that summer.
Just a big, stupid, cheating jerk.
Me and my daughter are really close.
Oh, yeah.
Meh. I worked in a clothing store once, but nothing that exciting ever happened. That's the end of that story.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, man.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Big, stupid, cheating jerk.
You big, stupid, cheating jerk. Oof.
Okay. Is
Last
it my
one?
turn?
Yeah. I just went, so
Do we have anything to say about this guy? He's a big, stupid, cheating jerk.
Big, stupid, cheating jerk. I think she covered it well, saying there could be many explanations.
Yeah, there's many
explanations.
explanations.
You never know. You just never know.
Look, it's either one of two. He was banging his daughter, or he's
cheating
a big,
on his wife.
stupid
That's
cheating jerk.
Those are the only
there is
options.
no way his wife would let him buy her like a silver bracelet and a red lace dress. His wife would be like, motherfucker, if you're going to bang her, she shows up in fucking jean cutoffs and you bang her and then you go your separate ways. You're not buying her a dress.
If you have the whole backstory going, you don't know. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. People have arrangements that are non-conventional to everyday life.
Drink.
I'm almost out of my beer. But we only have one story left.
Because you're probably gonna be drunk pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not drunk.
This story is called The Stairs. I work on the second floor of my office building, and although there are multiple entrances and exits, because of COVID restrictions, you are only supposed to use certain ones depending on your location in the building. My exit is a big outdoor staircase that is notorious for having people almost fall down it.
That sounds like something should be done about that, maybe?
Maybe. Well, one day it was my turn. I was leaving at the end of the day with my friend and our supervisor when I apparently took a wrong step and suddenly found myself falling down the stairs.
No.
Can you imagine just what goes through your head and the adrenaline that pumps when you start to see those stairs coming up to meet your face?
I actually, honestly, because of the way my brain works, I envision that every time I walk down a pair of stairs.
Yeah.
My brain just goes to like, what is the worst case scenario that could happen in any given moment? And I imagine it.
A bald eagle could come pick my eyes out, or I could fall down the stairs.
I could drive right off this bridge into fucking open water
Oblivion.
and drown.
That moment seemed to go on forever. I hit all of my knees and elbows on the way down.
All of them.
All of them.
Oh.
Multiple times.
Oh.
As well as my face. Which was probably spared by the fact that I was wearing a mask.
Oh, thank you, COVID.
That's fucking A. Thanks, COVID.
Oh,
anyway.
Does it say that in the email?
No. Oh, it says thanks, COVID.
Yeah.
Which was probably spared by the fact that I was wearing a mask. Thanks, COVID. Anyway, I had to describe what happened to safety and security, but the whole event is super blurry in my mind.
Yeah, I feel like, sorry, your adrenaline is probably just...
Oh, yeah.
And your stress levels are so high, like nothing.
The fact that this person said that the moment seemed to go on forever.
Yeah.
When crazy shit happens, you think about it and it's in slow motion.
Yeah.
Even though it happens within a couple seconds, it's burned into your brain.
Well, you kind of remember every second, but then also don't remember the details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the whole event is super blurry in my mind, probably partially because of the shock, and also because of my overwhelming concern that because I was wearing a dress that day, my boss, who is a guy and who is right behind me, had seen my brand spanking new red underwear that I was wearing. I think at that point, even if he did see the underwear, he didn't give a fuck. Like,
there's probably so many other things
because it was like,
through.
Oh, red underwear. Oh, red underwear. Oh, red underwear.
Somersault.
As you're just tumbling down the stairs.
Oh.
Yep. I had just gotten all new underwear and had been feeling pretty fancy about myself. My friend maintains to this day that no one saw, but she's full of shit. I'm never sure that I completely believe her, but if they did, man, I don't want to know. By the way, these days, if I'm going to wear a dress, I always try to pick boring underwear that will blend in under my tights in case anything that stupid ever happens again. Also, I was also smoking a lot of weed.
Oh.
Aww.
That's so just horrifying.
Yeah. I've been in some pretty hairy situations in my life, and I know the feeling of everything happens so fast, but in your mind when it happens, you can recall every detail so vividly.
Well, I'm glad they weren't hurt more than all of the knees and elbows being scraped up.
All of my knees and elbows. I am also an arachnid. So all 8 of my knees and elbows.
That's right. That was a good story. Yeah. Good in the, I don't know.
Oh, good in a podcast way.
Good in a podcast way. Not good for the person who tumbled down the stairs.
Yes, no, not at all.
Yeah. We hope you're well.
Yes, we hope you are well.
And your red underwear survived.
Yes. Hopefully you didn't scrub those up too much.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Good stories this time. Speaking of good stories, send us your stories, please. Your workplace stories. Doesn't matter what they are. Office
Doesn't
pranks,
matter at all.
Office romance, crazy customers. What else?
Bugs. Like people who deal with bugs at work. Because I know that sets a lot of people off.
What do you mean to deal with bugs?
Like you're sitting on your desk.
And a bug appears?
You're not sitting on your desk. You're sitting at your desk and like bugs start falling from the ceiling. Or you go into the restroom and there's bugs all over the place. Like there's a lot. I guarantee you there's a lot of bugs.
Send in your bug stories.
Don't send your bug stories. She doesn't like it.
Send your bug stories. If you've got bug stories. Any workplace story that you think is worthy of sharing on a podcast,
send it in.
Send it in to fmwlpod@gmail.com.
That's fmwlpod@gmail.com.
That's right. So do that. Make sure you follow us on the social networking sites, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at fmwlpod. Try to post fun stuff there.
Pretty normally. Like once a day.
Yeah.
We don't go crazy with it.
No. And then also, we're on a bunch of podcast apps now. Yep. Google. We're on Amazon Music now, I saw.
Pretty much wherever you get your podcasts, you can find us.
I think you need to search. Some of them, you can actually just search Fuck My Work Life and it'll show up. Some of them, you might have to do the F***K.
Yeah.
My Work Life. But if you're listening to this, you already found it. So just make sure you subscribe.
And you tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Rate and review because that helps out a lot. So please.
And give me $1.
Give Jay $1. And then also I was thinking, I haven't talked to you about this yet, but I was thinking if we do kind of like a season finale type episode, I thought it would be fun to just do a bunch instead of like full stories. If we get people to tell us the ways that they like unwind or relax or kind of like blow off steam after a particularly hard work day or work week. It can be fun to kind of compile all of those things and have
that would be fun.
Have an episode dedicated to that. So just send us, like, it doesn't even have to be a story. Just let us know how you unwind, relax, blow off steam after work. And
if it's appropriate, because I feel like my wife doesn't understand where this could go. And
I milk my snake after a particularly hard
I'm guessing most of the people who listen to our podcast right now would not send in those stories, but I guarantee there's a few.
Of course there is, but send them in anyway.
Would be like, well, I'll go into the big stall in the bathroom.
Maybe it could be for an interesting podcast episode.
And I flick my bean and wash my cooter.
And on that note, everybody, we hope you have a great week.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.